Hi, I'm Andre, and I'm the owner of the Lightning Gravity Gaming Company, and I'm trying to make a YouTube tutorial on HTML plus CSS when the title is going to be called CSS Padding. And for my YouTube video, it's mostly about CSS. Uh, well, first of all, create a new folder for this thing. Maybe just called new folder. I think the explicit JavaScript on website builder, it needs to have no space in it, or else it gives you an error. Like no space, or else you create your project will never create your own website browser even once in the Firefox or anything like those. So select folder without space. Maybe underscore would be allowed. Well, I haven't tried it, but before I tried it, since the Eclipse IDE have first updated, is no space right now, except for maybe underscore. And well, first of all, I realized that JPEG is supposed to be meant for Joint Photograph Expert Group, and for your own other like books like for a review that some HTML website builder, there's such thing as cluster. It's your arrow key image only as like kind of um arrow key as like try I'll just try in basic introduction like those like it kind of shows like resize. Like Rob, just images. Like the mouse cluster is considered as CSS properties instead of like reference. It's more high end than like HTML graphics. JavaScript more tailored to a slightly button user account background with your own business registered business company account. That's what real life server, what user really does in server. But yeah, but so far this one is the one part of the server programming without the PHP server connection to learn more harder scientific how it works with your privately practicing like testing server programmer with a server box. But there's another one that is I think it's called NAS, considered as Java EE, already passed the Java Standard Edition is Java EE, which is Java Express Edition, where you can have online clients just to pay for you, which is the second level server program. Well, so what is the first more basic one? With SQL is one part of it, but you need three books. It's like self-taught languages to self collecting information, data information with your own client server. This is self-answer your own email feedback or question how to use stuff or errors. Question like asking what error is it. Our marketing AI like review and stuff. Because sometimes too many users, you cannot just slowly collect the survey one at a time by asking email one at a time. So So I need new project, um, general project, not this one up there. Just name it, maybe name as anything you want. And so far I realized that you can name any website browser builder for like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. something like similar though, same as file, so it's all in one. So you don't have to specifically name yourself like .html or .css or something like job done down here. Just ignore the period. Just because it connects to all, maybe JS. It's not called C sharp, like CS is CSS. So that's what I remember. So just name it as kind of all website builder front end interface, including JavaScript. So and consider as this is what I'm using. Kind of border, kind of I'm just it's not really padding yet, but it's more like um what padding introduction looks like margin left and right. When margin is more like spreading apart the border edge, the like the edge of the space. But padding, it's actually the same. It's margin is the border edge of this outer space of kind of like this outer space, um, like the box. And the padding is just called space, like kind of empty space within before reaching the borderline. That borderline is called margin. It's just kind of more general term name, like whatever fit in this whole entire screen automatically. So what I'm trying to self program a little bit more is called main body. It's kind of similar as this one. This is what I'm using. HTML5 CSS. It's more like the basic one of this was the most basic one, front end. And these three books are considered as one part of the university level server programmer, only one part. It just gives the first gen one and getting more detail like part one, part two, part three. And another section is PHP, which scientifically connect to a server box with standard server called Java or something, and then after Java E, the more harder one that can release your whole entire world online video games. So that's what it looks like. So this page is considered as what I'm doing right now is 164, I guess. Uh, Kind of like this, similar, but upset moved out to a little bit more farther. Um, yeah, a bit more farther again. So this is what I'm kind of using. Main body instead of only main. Um, Down here. And you have to add Dave. It's not called Dave ID down here, but Dave on body. I mean, Dave on head and Dave ID on body. Well, it's kind of similar as this one. But the body is called like percentage more. It's kind of like AI than like per pixel. Like doesn't fit everything automatically with the cell phone website and your own more desktop website. So right now, I'm gonna do main body as kind of AI-ish, which you're padding, which kind of consider as same as your own. Um, like padding is all exactly same thing with your own margin. It's just like margin is the object, like border. Padding space. Not padding is actually just empty space. Uh, and content is what you think it means. Think why you added. And called head first. then body, because you only need this when you're trying to add CSS. Yeah, whoops, sorry, just closing in the body. Tag, this is called tagging. Maybe it's for later. And it creates the CSS version. The CSS is kind of style, just a bit more detail, organized, like overlayered with different types of code without being so much harder on everything HTML. It's called text. It must be called text CSS. Um, and then head. Uh, Maybe kind of something in the middle. Yeah. Oh yeah. Close in the style at least. Style means CSS. The more detailed front interface coding. Uh, I think you can name this anything with hashtag. It is creating another version of a lot multiple of new class within CSS. This one, but there's such thing as something else called like hashtag special P for paragraph, or yeah, it's called yeah like this thing hashtag and then special and then space and then P and then this thing again, like curly bracket something else. And there's such thing as another one that create new class is called paragraph, like over down here, like P. Like I'm not sure how it works because this is a more advanced thing that I just don't quite get any longer. I mean, like kind of this and then this and this. Yeah, there's something else more harder. Like I just multiple version of new class of like HTML and CSS, which I don't quite get the point. But once the P class equal quote and quotation is called HTML. Before this one, the one that says special space P curly bracket close curly bracket, that one is called CSS new class. But this one is another version of new class. You have to write special space P and after open curly brackets all the way. And then right now it's a border kind of style. Yeah, I got a bit disadvantage about without specific code CSS. Well, CSS will automatically, if you save as .css file, naming conversion will always more work with HTML as well. Like over on top of HTML, if you just name HTML file name, it will just not really work with CSS with this compiler IDE Xlibs. Well, doesn't really matter. Might show you a bit later. So I'm using solid, this one down here, solid. Yeah, remember close the thingy. What? I'm not sure what's it called now. And called maybe just called like 100% of a good natural like thinking thing. And remember that a small hint called um auto migrant right 100%. I don't know. Don't put any percent. This is for auto. So this two like left and right, left and right will automatically go to kind of the full screen center, but you always equal to start reading with English books starting from your own left hand side, then slowly go to right hand side from left to right where you read books. Then it slowly go down like kind of body versus head. Head is always on top. That kind of div ID uh main body. So this thing will go down as soon as you create more paragraph. It's kind of similar. Don't close the paragraph before creating new paragraph first. It might get a bit annoying. No capital P. It might get annoying that you can't index left and right that easy automatically. We want to save, and then you can like this thing goes more down. The Control C and Control V to paste. Like this thing automatically go left and right center of full entire screen by always reading from left to right, it's like a book, English book, not Chinese book. So so this is main is by default down here. So it goes down like an English book, like by lines index. I mean, entering space, not by index. Then you can maybe put like x5x or something, and Control C, and then Control V, and then Control V again to make sure it's different. And then this one is still CSS down here. So after one of the CSS is called dot intent. I mean indented. Uh, yeah. Then it's kind of like down here, indented down here. It's the same, but I put in the other variables that looks a lot more makes sense. Called um border style dotted. Yeah, yeah, because I want dotted because it makes sense. Like kind of imagine a line like down here that it floats somewhere else afterwards in the margin line, still called padding. Automatically, fully 100% of full screen or your cell phone screen will adjust it by itself. Well, I don't think so. I can put this in my cell phone because to just check it because I'm not that software engineering thing yet all the way through. Smart. I'm just copying from my own paper because I already double checked it how it works. Looks like makes a lot of sense. I'm just trying to explain more detail how important which one is the real software engineering or not. So I always put left, reading from left to right. But if you're trying to put right down here, it will not really work if you're trying to put, especially for extended. And maybe even down here as well, if you're trying to focus on right, starting from right hand side, because I think it's starting from the reading left to right English books a bit too hard somehow. So this will not, this, imagine this is not the same as the same paragraph as, yeah, this is what I meant before, yeah. Um, call this is what all five O's, no, sorry, extended, sorry. Indented, call this, but remember period, because it's subclass of this kind of thingy of, this is more like by default main body instead of whoops, instead of like the one that goes behind it, like down here called main stuff. This is called body, but this is supposed to be main body means this body as well all the way through, while it's within like body would be this extended. Then because of this down here only. That's called scoping for your own basic coding in first year university must know already. Instead of whatever you call it by frameworking too much, it's not called, it's more called phrases, normal working phrases. So I think this will might work. So remember to go always do this. You don't just hit play, run the whole entire like looks like you're gonna stream the whole entire server. You're gonna write like sub launch or something that not that good. And maybe click this. Right mouse click, new converge. You don't click this P right away. And oh yeah, just exit this because then remember you already created a new one before, new converge. Just remember to always right mouse click this shortcut. You can use digging the file more deeper, wherever you can found like Firefox down here, and get the shortcut. And maybe right mouse click properties. Always find the details. Actually, no, just copy this, but you can't copy. It's a shortcut. Copy it, and then just remember I already built this thing already. So called copy and paste down here without the quotation. It's not called string kind of down here. Then remember to click variables. Um, Select the resource location, called LOC, called location down here. Not called anything else because you're not that advanced, like going to work live stream of Steamwork server programmer everywhere, which is going to mess up like everywhere. Because this IDE is mostly the most general basic for Java programming. Before getting like whole entire system of teamwork, like trying to create an AI, that's what I said, to message everyone needs helps from playing an online video game, which I finally done it down here, which I kind of need to explain a bit more detailedly that 50% is called I think it's already done this thing. I just exit more of this. Is already done this thing and connected to the website browser. Before is this one. This is called dotted border. Um, so fifth. So this is dotted border, solid border. 100% width means 100% your web page, maybe not your whole entire like full screen. Yeah, it does strengths. Oh, good thing I can try it without my cell phone. So I can strengths was my paragraph being somehow not good as I thought. Maybe I try repile it again because I got an odd feeling. Or maybe I had to exit this first to repile. I think. Wait, encounter problem. Strange. Okay, anything I don't get why. Okay, at least the border strengths by 100%. It's maybe not really a full desktop screen or cell phone screen. It's called web browser screen. So this means by 100% with 50% of the whole entire web browser here, and then wait. I think I'm supposed to add 57%. Would be a lot more better example. That if I save this and do test it. The 50% is called like skipping, while width is the size of the border. And yeah, that's what I mean. Like always go left to right automatically centered when it is always starting from English book left to right, not Chinese book right to left. Yeah, and div IDE is just not really called class or IDE, but it still can be IDE. So as I play this again, hopefully it works. I'm not sure why. Sometimes it works. So it's off enter space by adding an extra 7% down here by clicking save and replay. That you have to remember it. So look, 7% always reading from left to right adds up by percentage. Remember that order. So this is called CSS padding, still considered as margin without using my own margin method using my own padding method needed because it still considers whole entire spacing level down here. Yeah, margin and padding it's kind of the same. It just means spacing of everything, your content and borderline. The content is more like the word that's most important for your business, and the border is just outside framing at least can readable spacing. So margin and padding is space. This margin is kind of the border outline, and the like space when the padding is just a spacing. So maybe I just name it called CSS margin or padding then in this YouTube title, and then remember that your this book is the most basic front end. Starting first, playing around your first kind of looks of coding. This HTML front end first, the looks that to see the any math or English spellings looks like, and some spacing on plain shapes or photoshopping, and just add around your own HTML website or a bit CSS later, like me. But SQL is like the first term of the first part of the server program, without even more harder university level PHP yet, scientifically connecting to a server box. The one of them is NS. NAS is the second hardest public, allowed it to publish your own server to your own business account that had to register through bank, not and through your business bank lawyer as well, not through any fake lawyer anywhere else. Else can be faking it. Yeah. Any financial business special person is always called a bank, not your own other business worker in your university. Is always called production, not called supposed to be not called like some other government party or too famous star consider us famous restaurant boss keep on a bit over exaggerate. They're reselling wine, beer, or bagel or something when it's considered from somewhere else reselling, not call your own bakery shop. Yeah, you get what I mean. Like, don't make a whole entire conference of reselling somewhere else. Make it your own branch of wine bottle when it's not coming from your own production. Man. You can't register a business or bank account before getting fraud and getting spent for your life. Problem. Yeah. So, yeah, get into used to what really university production looks like. And it'll be harder enough that you might need to study your own Chinese writing as well and test and trial, at least try and be honest. Yeah, so this is my at least main goal, what it looks like then. So I'm not sure why this index was sudden, but you get what I mean. It's a bit harder than you think. So thank you. See ya.